All right, you guys. So we're going to talk about something pretty different. It's about gaming still, and of course, you can see in the background here I have Cult of Lamb, right? Because I saw an article yesterday talking about Cult of Lamb and talking about the software they use to develop Cult of Lamb, and it's by this company called Unity. So let's take a look. So first things first, this is from Forbes. The entire gaming industry unites against Unity's baffling price changes. So I guess Unity's kind of like their own game developing engine, just like Unreal, right? Where you can go as the game developing company and license this software to develop your games in. And Cult of Lamb was the first one, that really spoke out against this yesterday that I saw. I haven't really seen many speak out until today. Was it September 14th? Yesterday, September 13th, Cult of Lamb spoke out against it. And basically, here's the quick overview. Originally, the announcement said that every installation of a game would warrant a fee. So instead of basically the developer licensing the software from them every year, Unity wants you to pay a fee for every single unit that's downloaded, right? Would warrant a fee, meaning players could delete and reinstall a game multiple times to mess with the developers. So they would have to pay a fee every time somebody would hit install, delete, install, delete. That's messed up. They said since that it would only be charged on the initial installation, and that does not cover multiple platforms, like an installation on both PC and Steam. Which for you PC players, that's something that you got to think about, because sometimes you got to download it in PC because you don't have it on Steam, or you got to download it in Steam and not on PC. As for piracy, Unity said that their own fraud protection tech that they say developers would need to trust, so they're not getting charged for pirated copies. Which I don't see how Unity's like, you know what? For pirated copies, we'll take care of that. We won't charge you, and you won't have to protect it, but we'll take care of that. Well, hopefully they're doing that with all the extra money they're looking to coop from this. Demos of the games will not be charged a fee as long as they're not included with the full game. So basically, the demo has to be basically its own entity, and it won't be part of the full game. Charity bundles including games will not be charged a fee, but the developer will have to inform Unity about the inclusion to make sure that this actually happens. So I'm not sure how Unity is going to go about, because they're so greedy in this. Actually policing, okay, you got a copy of a charity bundle, you don't. So if that's the case, why I would go to Humble Bundle and be like, hey, we'll donate, 20% or whatever the percentage is that, Unity's looking to make off of this for every installation, and just go to Humble and be like, yo, whatever they're going to offer, include it in the bundle. We'll give you the kickback of what we were going to pay Unity. Because me personally, I'm going to try to have it go towards whatever Humble Bundle's, little thing is, Vice, sending it to Unity, because they're changing this mid-game. Unity says that games being offered on a subscription service like Game Pass, it would not be on the developer being charged. Instead, it would be on Microsoft. So basically, Unity telling me personally that, you know what, we're not going to charge the developer if it's going to be on Game Pass. You know what we're going to charge? We're going to charge Microsoft. And guess what Microsoft's going to do? They're either going to drop that game, or they're going to pass that fee on to the consumer, which these subscription services for games are already too damn high. And I'm not going to lie, Game Pass, I was looking at it on the PC, it's dog shit. Like, don't even waste your money on Game Pass Ultimate to try to play it on PC and, whatever. That's my opinion. I know Starfield is offered, and they got rid of Games of Gold, which I'm kind of surprised it took that long. That's another video. Despite some clarifications, no one is celebrating the move. It's deeply backwards. But this is terrible. Unity stocks indeed went down 5%. Good, you greedy bastards. The problem I'm done with that article. Anyways, this is the article I read yesterday from The Gamer for Cult of Lamb, that they're planning on delisting Cult of Lamb because these changes go into effect on January 1st. And Cult of Lamb was like, you know what? fuck you, Unity. We're pulling that shit. So they're planning on pulling Cult of Lamb unless, oh shit, actually they backtracked. Massive Monster has clarified that its post about delisting Cult of Lamb and protests of Unity was a joke. The game will not be removed from the game stores. See, you're backtracking, bro. That's messed up. So this update, as of an hour ago, has Massive Monster, the developers of Cult of Lamb, backtracking, saying they won't delist. Where I think it would have been the right move, because it's gonna make them backtrack. And especially with a bigger game was a bigger game when it first came out. Because my problem with Cult of Lamb, it doesn't have a lot of support on YouTube with the features that Twitch has. So it's just one of those things. Anyways, let's go to the IGN article, because these guys love controversy with this. Games that Unity affects. So with them really changing this at like mid-game, being like, you got all these developers that develop their games onto the Unity platform just to change it in the 11th hour. Guess what games that affects? It affects Among Us. It affects Cult of Lamb, because I've already talked about them. Delver titles, which is going to be like Fall Guys. Here's the list right here. Hotline Miami, The Talos Principle, Loop Hero, Fall Guys. But they were all acquired by Epic, so Epic's got the money. They're not worried about anything. Human Flatfall 1 and 2, Another Crab's Treasure. Like, there's a whole bunch of them. But as we get further, some titles that use the Unity engine actually kind of surprises me, because they're larger games. All right, here is other major Unity games that could be affected. Genshin Impact. Massive game that's going to be affected. Hollow Knight, effective. Marvel Snap, effective. These two really surprised me. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Pokemon Go. Cuphead. Like, there's massive games that are going to be affected by this change. And Unity, I don't think, has a really good idea that they're really, they're shooting themselves in the foot if they're going to go and change this in the 11th hour. Because the one article I saw that really, really worried me was Rust. Come find out, Rust has been developed in the Unity engine since the beginning. They didn't use Unreal, they went with the Unity engine. And I didn't realize that, because the amount of crap I have to wait to click through in order to get into the game. And Unity is the worst company to be in charge of the Unity engine, which this ultimately has everybody agreeing upon the same thing. And it's making me wonder, okay, if this does go into effect, how long would it take Rust to get and develop into a different game engine? Would they lease out Unreal? Would they do something like that? Or would they stick with Unity, which I think would be a terrible idea, especially considering that they're trying to change the game at the 11th hour and they don't know what the hell they're doing. That's just my food for thought on this. I think it's a terrible move. It's very greedy. It's something that I think that was halfway thought through, kind of like the Netflix thing where sharing passwords is no longer acceptable, and they changed it and they're at record levels of subscriptions. That's my thoughts on it. Hopefully you guys, take this on, because I'm really upset seeing that update from Massive Monster that they were joking. They're not going to delist. I thought you guys had some balls and that you were going to delist to really show Unity, be like, hey man, we signed a deal. We've been with you guys for a couple years now. We've been doing our thing. And instead you're like, yo, I'm joking. And it's all because it comes down to the bottom dollar. I get it. You're a company. You got to do what you got to do. But Unity needs to not do some scummy things like this, because like I said, it's going to end up impacting not only the developer, it's also going to impact you. Especially if one of these games ends up on Game Pass, and guess what? Unity's going to be like, hey, I want 5 cents per download. Guess where that 5 cents is going to go? It's going to become $1 that you're going to have to pay as the consumer. Just food for thought. Anyways, y'all take it easy and have a great day.